Hello and welcome to the Rustavi International Motor Park in Georgia for the first stage of qualifying ahead of the opening pair of races of the 2017 TCR International Series. Hello again if you were with us earlier on for either of our two free practice sessions, or hello and welcome if you're just joining us. This is Mark James in the commentary box this weekend. And this afternoon, it's the usual two-stage qualifying, 20 minutes with all 16 cars that have entered here in Georgia, a 5-minute break, and then a 10-minute shootout in Q2, which is the top 12, the 12 fastest drivers, and that'll determine the grid for race 1, the top 10 being the top 10, and a reversed top 10 forming the grid for race 2 tomorrow. 16 cars then, with the double TCR International Series champion Stefano Camini carrying the number 1 on the doors of his Audi RS3 LMS TCR. Jean-Carl Venet, Camini's former teammates, number 2 in the Leopard Racing Volkswagen Golf. And then it's the first of the newcomers, if you like, to TCR, to the full season, to Roberto Colciago carrying number 5 in the Honda, the Mira Motorsport Honda. And another familiar name in touring cars of many years gone by, Pierre-Yves Cortals, Pilou, in an Opel Astra run by DG Sport Competition. And this is where we're racing, 4.14 kilometers, the Rustavi International Motor Park, around 25 kilometers or so from the country's capital, Tbilisi, on the outskirts of the city of Rustavi itself. And I'm pleased to say it's a relatively warm afternoon. The sun has come out, a little bit of high cloud, just taking the edge off temperatures. We had something like 7 degrees this morning. It's climbed a little to about 12 degrees now. Still a little on the chilly side, but at least the track has dried out from the slightly greasy conditions we saw in free practice 1 this morning. And also we've had a couple of races, a couple more qualifying sessions from the support race package, and so the track a lot grippier now than it was this morning. Highlights from the last couple of days, well, Hungarian drivers, young Hungarian drivers, having dominated things so far. Ferenc Fiksha, Zele Racing Seat Leon, quickest in the test session yesterday and in free practice 1 this morning, and then it was Attila Tashi, from Hungary in the second of the Mira Motorsport Honda Civics, who was quickest in free practice 2. So the markers very much laid down by the youngsters, a 20-year-old and a 17-year-old. We also have a 16-year-old in the shape of Giacomo Altoe from Italy, who joins West Coast Racing, the Swedish operation, for this year's TCR International Series. He partners the very experienced Gianni Morbidelli, the team having switched from Honda Civics to Volkswagen Golf GTI TCR cars during the winter. And what you're seeing there is the remnants of the previous race. The BMW Compacts were here, an incident-packed race, I think it was fair to describe, and the safety car came out on a couple of occasions, and you can see there one of the cars still waiting to be recovered. Let's turn our attention then to the TCR International Series. Let's go down to the pit lane where Fredo Filippone is with Andrew Chisholm from Craft Bamboo Lukoil.
Andrew, the sunshine is back.
It is, thank goodness. Good morning, good afternoon.
And the results too, we hope, for this third season of the TCR.
Yeah, we certainly hope so, yeah. This is the season we're going to win it this year. Sure.
Good, how you see it? Good competition?
It's fantastic. It's the strongest year we've had so far, so it's really going to be tough this year, tougher than the last 2 years. Mind your back. Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And that's a man, in a way, I don't envy, because he has 3 potential champions, 3 definite race winners in his team this year. That is James Nash, who finished as runner-up to Stefano Camini in 2016. The car, the other side is the 74, there it is in the background, of Pepe Oriola, finished as a runner-up to Camini in 2015, and the team is joined by Ugo Valente in the number 7 Seat Leon, the familiar red and white Lukoil livery on the 3 Seats, and that's one of the teams who pretty much stay as they are, running same sponsor, same livery, just switching one driver. Yes, you can see that it wasn't just the BMWs that caused incidents. I think we will almost certainly have a delayed start to this qualifying session, in that we saw the safety car there, the Skoda, also out on track, and just underneath me at the exit of the pit lane one of the track recovery vehicles just making its way out. Okay, let's head back down to the paddock, and Alfredo this time is talking to Michela Cerruti, who's made the switch from driver to team manager.
Michela Cerruti, it's almost home race for the team, and it's a good start of the season.
Yes, very good start. We hope we can keep on like that. David did an amazing job. It's his home race, so we really hope that he can keep it up for qualifying, and we hope that also Dusan can make a good job. And we have two amazing drivers, so it's a very good chance to make a result finally.
Good. Well done, and good luck for the weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michela. Thanks, Alfredo. And in fact, the team, fingers crossed, will be running 3 cars. There was a question mark over the 3rd car, but team leader, if you like, here in Georgia, local hero David Kajaya did well this morning, was topping the timesheets for quite a while, but the Alfa Romeo just being pipped in the last 5 or 10 minutes or so of the session. Dusan Borkovic, the giant of a man from Serbia in the 62 car. And then a relatively late entry. The team were always planning to run 3 cars here, but a very late decision on the team's 3rd driver, and he took part in free practice 1 this morning. Shota Abkazava, who is the owner of the Rustavi International Motor Park, a businessman, a team owner, has been involved in broadcasting in Russia and so forth in the past, and he also has won the Russian and Georgia Legends Championship. He took part in free practice 1. There you see his car in the background with the engine up. He didn't take part in free practice 2 because the engine needed to be changed on the car. And so whatever he does in qualifying, he will start the race from the back of the grid. So Abkazava really could have done with the time in the car. He knows the circuit, obviously, every millimetre, but new to TCR, new to the team, new to the car. Now, we're looking down the pit lane, everyone waiting for the light at the pit exit to turn green, but what they can't see is what I can from my commentary position, which is that the safety car is on track and is heading down to... and I'm just hearing in my headphones that there is indeed a 5-minute delay while those cars are being cleared from the previous race. So qualifying delayed by 5 minutes, that'll push everything on. So Q1, the 20-minute first session from 5 past 3 local time, 5 past 1 Central European time, 5 past 11 GMT. And that'll take us to 3:25. There'll then be a 5-minute break while the cars are re-prepped. And then the final 10-minute scramble while the drivers get... hopefully 1 or 2 flying laps in. That will decide the running order for race 1 tomorrow. And wherever you are in the world, if I tell you the local time of the races tomorrow, race 1 is at 1:30 local time, so 11:30 Central European, and race 2 at 3:30 local time, so 1:30 Central European. And I've mentioned several times already this weekend, it's a historic weekend for Georgian motorsport. The first time the country has hosted an international motorsport event. And I have to say the welcome we've been given and the effort that everybody is being working at to make everything right this weekend is seriously impressive. You have to say that if something's not quite right, there are places in the world that would kind of shrug their shoulders and say, well, we'll do what we can. Here, they really do work hard to get everything sorted out, and the effort is much appreciated by all of us, all of the teams, and actually you have to say quite a few spectators. Even though it's qualifying day today, there are a couple of races, and quite a few spectators have made their way into the International Motor Park just outside the city of Rustavi to watch the action. Now, I dare say I'll be filling you in on some of the changes. We talked about some of the new teams, the new drivers, when we had the 2 free practice sessions. If this is the first time you're catching up with the 2017 TCR International Series, then you're very welcome. Welcome along. It's the start of a long season. It's 20 races spread out over 10 race weekends, 2 of those race meetings with Formula One at Bahrain, which is the next meeting in 2 weeks' time, and at the end of the season in Abu Dhabi, and also with the World Endurance Championship at Spa-Francorchamps, and also with other TCR championships, TCR Germany at Oschersleben, for example, and also with the European Le Mans Series and GT Open during the series as well. So a long old season. It begins here in Georgia. We've already had 3 track sessions, a 2-hour test yesterday, which was topped by Ferenc Fikce. Fikce again quickest this morning in free practice 1, and then it was Attila Tashi who was quickest in free practice 2. There is Pierre-Yves Cotals, Pilou, in one of the DG Sport Competition Opel Astras. His teammate is Mato Homola. With the numbers to watch, 23 is Cotals in the mainly red car, and Homola in the predominantly yellow Astra. 2 Astras then, 2 Hondas being run by Mira Motorsport, a new team, which is Norbert Michelic's move into team management. And even though there's a 1 in the title, it's short for Michelic Racing. So, mechanics and engineers warning their guys a few more seconds to tick away before the session gets underway. Let's see if we can find the green light coming on. And a mad scramble to get out of the pit lane. Those 2 blue cars, in my mind, some of the most attractive liveries, belong to Gianni Morbidelli there in car number 10, followed by his new teammate, Giacomo Altoe, in the 21 car. West Coast Racing from Sweden having made the switch from Honda Civics to Volkswagen Golfs over the winter. And so a vastly experienced team and a vastly experienced lead driver in Morbidelli, but they're learning the Volkswagen here in Georgia. Now, Abkazava's name has come up on the timing screen, so we are expecting him to start the session. There is Stefano Camini in the sole, at the moment, Audi RS3 LMS TCR. And this deal came together virtually in the last 10 to 14 days. It seemed from his posts on social media that Stefano Camini was going to miss out on this year's TCR International Series. But indeed, the team from Belgium, Come To You Racing, got the deal together. They've run in the Volkswagen Fun Cup in the past. This is a big step up for them, and we're extremely pleased to see them, and they hope to run a second Audi at some stage this year. All being well, we'll see a second car in those colours at Spa-Francorchamps at the 3rd round of TCR International. Camini having won the title with Target competition in a Seat and with Leopard Racing in a Volkswagen. Can he win a 3rd title with a 3rd different team in a 3rd different car? Now there goes Fikce. Now I'm assuming he's done that to get some clear air and not have to run in the pack. I don't think there was any kind of suggestion of a technical problem with the car. Away he goes from pit exit. And you see there the 2 Volkswagens, the 2 2017 spec cars, the number 10 with Gianni Morbidelli, and the number 2, the turquoise car, as both of the West Coast Racing cars head into the pits. As behind Camini, you saw there, Jean-Carl Vernet stays with Leopard Racing in the turquoise Volkswagen Golf, a new car for the team. It's a 2017 spec car, very different to the 2017 car, says Vernet. Takes a little more setting up. And Camini commenting that the Audi is also a very different beast to drive. The saloon sedan spec, if you like, with the 3-box design, very different. The rear of the car working a lot harder than he's been used to in the hatchbacks, the 2-box designs that he's driven in the past. There is Fikce, just exiting your screen. And Camini saying that he wasn't quite up to speed yesterday, in that he didn't feel 100%. He knows there's more to come from the car. And you have to say, from Stefano's point of view, from what we're used to seeing from the two-time champion, he's had a fairly subdued day so far. Let's see what he can do in qualifying. Now we should start to see some times, some representative times starting to be set. Fresh rubber going on to the West Coast Racing Volkswagens. And times from this morning, if you were with us earlier, you'll know that a lap time of around 1:42, 1:43 is what we're expecting. Possibly a little bit quicker now that the track has warmed up slightly. And now you see at the bottom of your screen that the lozenges, which I should explain. A green lozenge means the driver has just set their best sector time, while the gold lozenge you see there of Oriola, there he is in the 74 Seat Leon. That gold lozenge means the best sector time of all. So Oriola then, the early pace setter, but a time of 1:46.9, that will come down. James Nash, a 1:49.115, and David Kajaya on a 1:54, a 1:56 for Dusan Borkovic starting to come in. Kamini's already done a 1:50. So Nash just pipped to the best Sector 1 time by Borkovic, of all people, a 32.6 second Sector 1 time. Kajaya has gone quicker still. Oriola, best Sector 2 time. But we're a little over 5 minutes into this session, so far too early to say. And also, the Craft Bamboo Lukoil team in the past have been very clever in the way that they run their cars together. Whether they're going to do that again here, I don't know, because you've got three, I suppose, very long straights here. The start-finish straight is something like 3/4 of a kilometre long. There you see it, and they use it for drag racing. There's also a long straight between turns 2 and 3, and then there's a back straight between turns 10 and 11. Out goes Jean-Carl Venet. Oriola immediately on the pace. Kajaya, 1:42.7, 1:42.768, so 0.03 of a second splitting Kajaya and Oriola at the moment. Nash has done a 1:43.15, a 1:43.64 for Borkovic. And indeed, Abkazava is out on track, having done a 1:49.382, so off the pace at the moment, but at least all three of the Alphas are in the running. And looking down into the pit lane, I'm not sure if the TV director has spotted that the Craft Bamboo Lukoil guys are pushing, I think it was Valente's car, back into the pit lane. He went to pit exit and didn't get any further. So Kajaya then has just set the best Sector 1 time. Now this blue and white Seat you just see exiting your screen from the United States, that's Duncan Indy from California, the car run by Icarus Motorsports, the 18 Seat. And there is Valente, so whatever the problem was, wasn't terminal, he is out on track. And Valente joining last year's team's champion, Craft Bamboo Lukoil. And an extremely tough team to beat, I suspect. As I was mentioning earlier, I wouldn't like to be Andrew Chisholm with 3 race winners, all having to be managed very carefully, as I suspect the championship heads down to its closing stages. So Kajaya then heads up to the line, having done best sectors in 1 and 2. Improves marginally, a 1:42.252. That's the best time we've seen of this session. James Nash on a 1:42.763, ahead of Oriola, 1:42.768. Then it's Borkovic, 143.582. Morbidelli on a 144.578. As we look at Pilou, Pierre-Yves Courtals. Courtals, green sectors in 1 and 2. Altoe above him there on the screen, you can see, having just done a 151.298. And Courtals a 143.471. So fourth quickest so far is Courtals. Biding his time, I suspect. Ferenc Ficcia. Venet, green in sector 1. Homola, green in sector 1. And Venet at the moment 10th quickest. Colciago, Roberto Colciago in the Honda, the number 14 car. Excuse me, the number 5 car, but 14th position. So Colciago green in sector 1, Homola green in sectors 1 and 2, as is Venet. So at the moment, Venet 10th quickest, Homola 16th, Colciago 15th. Borkovic goes 5th with a lap of 142.884. So at the moment, just over a second covering the top 6. Still David Kajaya with a best lap of 142.096 at the top of the timesheets. Tashi goes gold in sector 2. So Attila Tashi on a charge. Can he repeat that quickest time from free practice 2, excuse me, this morning? Colciago second. Tashi goes third. Still Kajaya though. And Colciago goes quickest. There is a, I'm not sure if you saw that timing screen, car 74, lap time cancelled. So that's Pepe Oriola. The race director, Tony Whittaker, was saying to the drivers earlier that he will cancel lap times. They've had 2 hours of testing and 1 hour of free practice to learn the track limits, and there are no excuses now for exceeding them. And I think Valente, all 4 wheels across the white line there. Now, that is Colciago, and was that a spin? We'll see very shortly. Comini now having gone gold in sector 1 and green in sector 2. So Comini on a charge. What will the Swiss driver do? He comes around the start-finish, the final corner onto the start-finish straight, up to the line. Crosses it now. And Comini, it says, is now 7th. Homola is... Well, I'll wait for my screen to refresh. Homola is now 4th. Comini 6th. Tashi has just gone 8th. And as I said to you earlier on, it's Colciago who's now ahead of Kajaya. Colciago has done a 142.145, so a fraction over a tenth of a second quicker than David Kajaya. Venet now 3rd, Homola 4th, Morbidelli 5th, Comini 6th, Oriola 7th, Tashi 8th, Nash 9th, and Valente 10th. And that is Shota Abkazava in the 3rd of the GE Force Alphas. Getting underway again, possibly with gear selection problems after having spun. Maybe we'll see that as a replay. And Ficcia, as I suspected, waiting for some clear track before he attacks. Gold in sector 1. So Cortal's green in sector 1, but in traffic there. And indeed, losing that advantage in sector 2. Duncan Indy, green in sector 1. And Indy at the moment in the Icarus Motorsports Seat, 14th out of 16. But Fixture, I suspect, is the one to watch. Gold in sector 1, green in sector 2. As we see Cortals head up towards the line, but I don't think he's going to improve from his 13th position currently. 12 go through, remember, to Q2. Let's see if we can pick up Ferenc Fixture as he comes through sector 3. Now, why were we watching Kamini there? This is Abkhazava, and that's the cause of him running slowly. Oriola now up to 7th, recovering from that drop time. Kamini drops to 11th. That's still fine. You see on the left-hand side of your screen, the dark grey cars go through into Q2. The light grey cars will miss out. There is Fixer. And Kamini's had a lap time cancelled. Fixer, while we were looking at those replays and the action in the pits, Fixer has gone quickest, having done a 1:42.137, which is 8 thousandths of a second quicker than Roberto Colciago. So the 12 going through at the moment. Fixer, Colciago, Vernay, Kajaya, Homola, Morbidelli, Kamini, Oriola, Tashi, Nash, Valente and Giacomo Altoe. So Borkovic, Cortals, Indy and Abkhazava have 4.5 minutes of the session in which to do something about that position. The two Opel Astras now running together. And it's Mato Homola in the number 70 car ahead of Cortals. Now, can they help each other with the toes, the aerodynamic toes? Homola at the moment 5th. And indeed, Cortals slingshots past his young teammate. So can he recover from 14th to get into the top 12? The man he will bump out is the youngest driver on track, the 16-year-old Italian Giacomo Altoe in the West Coast Racing Volkswagen Golf. Car 18, which is Duncan Indy, has had a lap time cancelled. And from listening to the briefing yesterday, it would appear that the final corner, turn 12, onto the start-finish straight, is where a lot of the track limit infringements occur. Kajaya's done the best sector 3 time of all, but it's not helped him improve, still 4th at the moment. Cortals, though, on course, 2 green sectors. Can he improve? Can he get up to the top 12, make it through to Q2? 3 minutes left on the clock exactly. And this is turn 12. He'll be careful not to infringe and run across all 4 wheels. Oh, just about. That'll be tight as he just kicks up a little bit of dirt at the end. Has he done enough? Now it's 3 green sectors, but it doesn't appear to be enough. Still 14th. His best lap, a 1:43.367, not enough to get him through to Q2. Colciago's just gone gold in sector 2. So still Giacomo Altoe in 12th place, going through to Q2. There is Roberto Colciago. We mentioned that he's on a charge. quickest he goes. So Roberto Colciago just bumps Ficcia out the way. 1:41.777 his quick lap. The only driver so far to break 1:42 in this session. Colciago, hugely experienced. Won the TCR Italy title last year, also won at Sepang, one of the races in the TCR International Series. Persuaded to come out of retirement and appears to be enjoying things so far. He's in one of the two Mira Motorsport Honda Civics, as Cortals takes possibly one more lap. Black lozenges so far, so he's not going to do it on this lap. And he'll cross the finish line. And Tashi goes second. Attila Tashi, quickest in free practice 2 as a dejected-looking Dusan Borkovic walks away. Borkovic 13th quickest, so he won't go through to Q2. That's Andriana, his wife, on the right there in the dark coat. And she's the lady who looks after all his social media, so we'll find out later on what he thought. So, Ficcia having just done a quick Sector 1. Comini, though, has gone even quicker in Sector 1. There is Tashi, second quickest behind Colciago. So, Honda's 1 and 2, and Yas, who build the cars in Italy, will be absolutely delighted. Checkered flag falls at the end of this first stage of qualifying, and it's first blood to Roberto Colciago ahead of Attila Tashi. Ferenc Ficcia third, Jean Calvinet fourth, David Kajaya fifth, then it's Matteo Homola, Gianni Morbidelli, Stefano Comini, Pepe Oriola, James Nash, Hugo Valente and Giacomo Altoe. And it's those 12 that will go through into Q2. Kajaya's just set a quick Sector 1 time, but in the great scheme of things, he's done what it takes. Colciago, quickest in Sector 2. But that's Q1 done and dusted, I think. Cortals indeed comes in, having pretty much accepted defeat. 14th quickest for Pilu in the Opel Astra. He won't go through to Q2. Altoe, though, clearly a man on a mission. Gold in Sector 1, green in Sector 2. And what is Altoe going to do as we look at David Kajaya, third quickest, a 1:41.968. So he too has beaten that 1:42 lap time. At the back of the Alpha, in fact, both of the Alphas of Kajaya and Borkovic seem very tail happy. They like lifting a wheel going through that complex, as Borkovic discusses things with his engineer. But he will play no further part in proceedings today. And he will start both races tomorrow from 13th place on the grid. There is Altoe. And indeed, Altoe has improved, but he will go through to Q2. Dusan Borkovic, then, what has he got to say? He's talking to Alfredo.
Dusan Borkovic, a difficult start of the season. Huh?
Yeah, very difficult. It's not the best weekend I have had in my life. So first of all, honestly, it is only my problem. Some problems with the car. It is really difficult for me to find the grip and the right feeling to be really fast like I was last year with Zed. But I hope that I will find. But this qualifying, no, I had on the first lap some problems with the steering rack. I lost the steering power, so it was so difficult so difficult to drive. So I drove like 2 laps on my muscles, and that was that. So I couldn't go into the. If I get into the Q2, I couldn't. I could not drive. So for me, it's the same. I hope that tomorrow I will not find some other feeling for the car, but I doubt. I doubt. I will wait for the next race in Bahrain, which I know much better, and I hope that I will feel this car much better in Bahrain than in Georgia.
Let's hope for the better. All the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Dusan. Thanks, Alfredo. So, Borkovic, you can sense the frustration. He's not driven the Alfa Romeo very much. A kiss from Andriana, and a sit down with his engineer to see what can be done. Having spoken to Michela Cerruti, who's now team boss, she was saying that they'd tried a few different things, but they were going to go in different directions. Colciago then, quickest in that Q1, ahead of Tashi, Kajaya, Fixia, Vernet, Homola, Altoe, Morbidelli, Oriola and Nash. And the other 2 drivers to go through into Q2, Ugo Valente and Stefano Comini, just scraping through in 12th place, a second or so off the pace. So what can Stefano and the Come To You team do in Q2? So by my watch, we're something like 4 minutes away from the start of Q2. Well, Q1 has thrown up a few surprises. A disappointed man, that's Pilou, Pierre-Yves Cotals. So 15:35, so yeah, about 4.5 minutes or thereabouts to the start of Q2. What are we seeing there? Because we're a good 4 minutes or so away from starting Q2. Mato Homola, though, will go through, unlike his teammate. Homola in the number 70 car. And you see there at the end of the pit lane, the dark blue pairing of the West Coast Racing Volkswagens on the right-hand side. Oh, the message has got through. I was beginning to wonder then that the clock is saying 3:35 local time. Okay, let's see if we can hear then from Pierre-Yves Cotals, and he'll be talking to Alfredo Filippone about exactly what happened to him during Q1.
Pierre-Yves Cortals, a difficult start of the weekend.
Yeah, it's a really difficult start of the weekend. I don't expect that at all, because during the winter the Opel was really well, and I don't find a solution with this car actually, and I can't say anything. I'm completely stopped, and I don't know why. We try a different solution, and we do still the same time every time. So I don't really understand what's up.
Frustrating?
Yeah, sure, frustrating. I would like to be in Q2. I'm not usually to be on this position for sure. So we'll see the race. But,
all the best. Hope to solve the solution.
Thank you.
So another chat with another engineer. Still early days for the Opel Astra in the International Series. You'll recall that they started the year last year, elected to stop competing with the car in order to develop it, which in hindsight was a good decision. And Pierre-Yves won the TCR Europe Trophy last year, also competed in TCR Benelux with the car, and has made the move up to the International Series this year. Still 2.5 minutes on my watch before Q2 gets underway. And this, if you've not joined us before, is the little 10-minute thrash where you'll see drivers go out to set a quick time early on and then maybe play the waiting game to see what the others do around them, and if necessary, go back out, maybe use another fresh set of tyres and see if they can improve on that time. But this is the all-important section in qualifying. They've made it through the selection process that whittles it down from 16 to 12, and now first and 10th are the important places. First will start from pole for the first of tomorrow's races. 10th, because of the reversed grid, will start from pole for the second race tomorrow. It's also worth pointing out, of course, that points are awarded for the qualifying positions, and so whoever gets pole position will immediately move into the lead of the TCR International Series Drivers' title battle with 5 points, and then it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for the top 5. The Leopard Racing Volkswagen Golf of Jean-Carl Vernet. Like the Audi of Comini, the only one car that the team has here at the start of the season in Georgia, but they hope to have a second car running as from round 3 in Spa-Francorchamps. You have to say quite a few good touring car drivers are still looking for drives this year, so we may see a few surprises, we may see some big names still come into the series. Right, clock ticking down, a few seconds to go now until Q2 gets underway. The engineers, the mechanics looking at the green light. There it goes. 12 cars take to the track, led out once again by Gianni Morbidelli, thanks to his pit position right at the end of the pit lane. So the two West Coast Racing Volkswagen Golfs of Morbidelli and Altoe. There are the three Craft Bamboo Lukoil Seats running together. Then it'll be Vernet, followed by Homola, Tashi, Colchago, so the two Hondas running together. Then it'll be Kajaya after a short gap. And by my calculations, all 12 are out on track. I think that was Fixture who was running behind the two West Coast cars. No, indeed, it wasn't. I can't even count to 12 these days. Fixture electing to stay in the pit lane and get himself some free air between himself and the batch of cars in front. Because, of course, that outlap will see everybody trying to get some heat into those tyres. And the Zeller Racing team will be watching their stopwatches and working out exactly when they can release the young Hungarian to go out. He starts the season in a Seat Leon run by Zeller Racing from Austria, but from round 3 onwards in Belgium, in Spa-Francorchamps, he will switch to the Zengo Racing Kia Ceed, the latest brand to join the TCR International Series. And the deadline to get the cars ready to come to Georgia just that little bit too tight, and so they've elected to miss the first 2 rounds of the year, and they will join the International Series at Spa. So then, outlap done. This is the first flying lap. So the two West Coast Racing Volkswagen Golfs, followed then by the 3 Craft Bamboo Lukoil Seat Leons. Morbidelli, Altoe, Comini it was, running behind the two West Coast Racing cars. And Fixture has just left the pit lane. My commentary box just looks down over the pit exit. And Fixture is just moving out behind the Hondas. As we look at Hugo Valente, tremendously experienced, still young, but having joined an extremely strong lineup in the Craft Bamboo Lukoil team. So looking at the early times coming in from Sector 1, it's Pepe Oriola who's quickest of all through Sector 1, a 32.3. just beaten, in fact, by Tashi, a 32.2. As Kajaya weaves to get heat into the brakes, the wheels and the tyres. Quickest in Sector 2 so far is Nash. There is Kamini on the right of your screen, slowing to get himself into a decent position, you'd say. There is Oriola. And Tashi clearly on a charge. Oriola then, quickest in Sector 3. Quickest so far with a lap time of 1:42.15. Oriola from Nash, from Altoe. In fact, Colciago goes third, then Venet, then Altoe, then Morbidelli. Homola now goes fourth. Venet behind Homola in sixth. Tashi, though, quickest of all. And will the young Hungarian drivers continue their domination of the weekend here in Georgia? Tashi then, a 1:41.286. Oriola, 0.8 of a second slower. So it looks like this. Tashi, Oriola, Nash, Colciago, Homola, Venet, Altoe, Morbidelli, Valente and Kajaya, with Comini and Fixer outside the top 10. Fixer, remember, is only just starting his quick lap. Halfway through the session already. See what I mean about this being a sprint? And Fixer on his first flying lap. Quickest in Sector 1, 32.1. And Kajaya on his second lap, just gone quicker still, a 31.9. Nash getting one of his lap times cancelled, so his first flying lap will not count. Morbidelli goes second quickest, so it's Tashi from Morbidelli. Comini, though, pops in a time to go second quickest. Tashi then, Comini, Morbidelli, Valente. Venet goes third quickest. Half a second splitting the top three at the moment. Tashi's time 0.4 quicker than that of Comini. And the wise head of Comini waiting to do the time just when it mattered in Q2. So Tashi then, Fixture goes second quickest, a 1:41.294, 0.8 of a second slower than his countryman. Kajaya, though, goes quickest, 1:40.693. Brilliant time from Kajaya. That would get the local fans wound up. A 1:40.693. Nearly 0.6 of a second quicker than Tashi. Fixture third now. Comini fourth. Venet fifth. Morbidelli sixth. Valente seventh. Oriola eighth. Ninth is Altoe. 10th is James Nash. Colciago is 11th. Mato Homola 12th. But still the green sectors, they keep coming. Just over 3 minutes of the session remaining. Morbidelli we're looking at in the West Coast Racing Volkswagen. Green in sectors 1 and 2. Morbidelli 6th at the moment. He heads up to turn 12, comes round the final corner, keeps it neat. Looked to have stayed with two wheels just on the right side of the lines. What can Morbidelli do? 5th, he improves. But not by much. Colciago, though, green sectors in 1 and 2. Colciago at the moment 11th. And Homola, and indeed Colciago goes up the order. He's now 5th. But no one getting anywhere near David Kajaya's time. And Valente having a lap time cancelled. Now all of these are because of track limit infringements. Race director Tony Whittaker was very clear yesterday in the driver's briefing. And Morbidelli having, I wonder if he's overcooked it. We might see that on a replay as we look at Fixer. Fixer threw it away in sector 3. This is Morbidelli. So what happened? Oh, I think that's turn 4, which has caught out so many drivers over the last 2 days. And Morbidelli just carrying too much speed into the right-hander and ending up in the gravel. And I wonder if that's where he'll stay. There is James Nash. Nash at the moment outside the top 10, having been bumped down. It's Nash in 11th and Matto Hommler in 12th, who will lose out at the moment. Right, the 74 car throwing it, and I think, oh, he catches it, a big slide going around turn 12. That possibly may have cost Pepe Oriola any chance of improving from 9th. And indeed it does. Pepe Oriola throwing the car around the final left-hander as Gianni Morbidelli walks away from his stricken Volkswagen. 40 seconds left of the session. David Kajaya will be the hero of Georgia if he can hang on to that pole position. And Stefano Comini looks relatively pleased with his session's work as Fixture heads up to the line. No, indeed, quickest in sector 1, but can't do anything in sectors 2 and 3. So Kajaya, Tashi second, Fixture still third. Then it's Vinay 4th, Colciago 5th, Comini 6th, Morbidelli 7th, Valente 8th. And Valente, the new boy, the best of the Craft Bamboo Lukoil team as the checkered flag falls. So Valente in 8th, Pepe Oriola 9th, Altoe 10th, which, if things stay as they are, means the 16-year-old Italian will start race 2 from pole position tomorrow in the number 21 Volkswagen Golf. And congratulations for Stefano Comini. A reasonable job considering he's not had much time in that car, and the team, to be fair to them, haven't had much time to do any work on it either. James Nash, green in sectors 1 and 2, so it's not over yet. He heads around turn 12. Can he keep it neat? He stays on the correct side of the track limit line. He heads up to the line. What can James Nash do? Currently in 11th. But no, indeed, James Nash black in sector 3. And so James Nash will be 11th, car 21. That's Giacomo Altoe. Has his 1:42.729 cancelled. That's not a problem, because that's not his best lap time. That was a 1:42.234. There is Fixture. Again, those black lozenges tell their own story. The promise he showed in sector 1 faded away in the remainder of the lap. And so, do you know, a Georgian team, GE Force, a Georgian circuit here at Rustavi, and a Georgian driver on pole position. That's the first pole for the Alfa Romeo Giulietta TCR. The team, the country, I guess, is delighted. What a great job by David Kajaya. A 1:40.693. 5, nearly 6/10 of a second clear of Attila Tashi in second place. Ferenc Fixture in third. So it's Georgia, Hungary, Hungary. And it's Alfa Romeo, Honda, Seat. Never said that before when we're talking about the top 3 positions, but well done to the team, well done to David Kajaya. And shaking up the order somewhat. Kajaya, Tashi and Fixture. Tashi just 17 years of age, Fixture just 20, and Giacomo Altoe just 16. And indeed, he will start from pole position in race 2 tomorrow. And live streaming, as usual. The races start at 1:30 local time and 3:30 local time. And there is David Kajaya. Very happy man. I'm sure Alfredo is with him. There is the all-important board with the champagne bottle to mark the pole position man. There is confirmation. David Kajaya on pole position then for race 1 tomorrow. Ahead of Attila Tashi, Ferenc Fikscher, Jean-Carl Vernet, Roberto Colciago, Stefano Camini, Gianni Morbidelli, Ugo Valente, Pepe Oriola, and that man, 16-year-old Giacomo Altoe, 10th in qualifying, and that means he starts race 2 from pole position. The two men who lose out, James Nash in 11th and Mato Homola, disappointing after his early promise in Q1. Homola 12th, which is where he'll start from the grid on both of tomorrow's races. But congratulations from Dusan Borkovic for his new teammate. Hugs too from the engineers and from the mechanics. I'm sure Michela Cerruti is there somewhere as well. And you can see the delight in those faces. Brilliant job. And I saw David Kajaya out in Abu Dhabi. And he said how strong the car was. Right, let's see if we can get Alfredo Filippone in to have a chat with David Kajaya, our delighted pole position man.
David Kajaya, what a great result. Pole position at home. You must be very happy.
Yeah, I'm more than happy. I'm proud to be in pole position in my country. This is unbelievable. This is amazing. Thank you for my team for a good car. And I will now concentrate for tomorrow's race, and I will try to keep this position for the race also. I'm happy. It's an amazing feeling. And first time I'm in pole position in TCR, and this amazing feeling.
And tomorrow could be a greater day.
Yeah, of course. I will try to keep my position for tomorrow.
Well done. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, David, and thank you to Alfredo. And Kajaya giving the Alfa Romeo Giulietta TCR its first ever podium when it finished second in Abu Dhabi in TCR Middle East. And now hopping with one leg, one wheel raised defiantly in the air, that little Alfa Giulietta has its first pole position in the TCR International Series. Our congratulations to David and to the team on a job well done. As the marshals recover Gianni Morbidelli's car. That's what I was saying earlier. Kajaya moves into the lead then with the 5 points for pole position ahead of Tashi, Fikscher, Jean-Carl Vernet, and Roberto Colciago just gets the 1 point for 5th place. So that's our first points table of the year. How will things look at this time tomorrow afternoon? We have 2 races for you, the first 2 races of the TCR International Series of 2017. For the time being, though, from the Rustavi International Motor Park, from me, Mark James, a very goodbye.